chapter 5, and they'll be doing the relevant revision on that. Within the relevant revision on that chapter, and then if you have your textbook, General Mathematics textbook of reference, and we're looking at revision test 5. So I'm going to do a quick one on that, and then you check if the answers you got were in order, and then that will possibly add to the understanding you already have. So let's look at question 1. Question 1A. In question 1, it says find the number that makes each sentence word true. Now the first one is 9 plus 6, and that will be 15. So the number is what? 15. B, it is 9 minus 6, and the answer is what? 9 minus box is equal to 6. So that number will be what? 9 minus 6, which will be equal to what? 3. C says what? 24 is equal to box times a certain number, which means that box will be equal to 24 divided by 3, and that will be 8. D says box divided by 7 is equal to what? 6. It means that box will be equal to what? 7 times 6, and that is what? 42. So that takes care of what? Question number 1. In question number 2, it says there is more than one box in the sentence. In each sentence, put the same number in both boxes to make the sentence true. So look at first one, 33 is equal to box plus box plus box. Because there are 3 boxes here, to be box equal to 33 divided by what? 3, and that will be what? 11. Are you seeing that? That's for question A. In question B, it will be what? Box equal to 26 minus box. So what is box? Box will be what? 26 divided by how many boxes are you seeing? 2, and the answer becomes what? 13. Let's look at question C. It says what? 36 is equal to box times box. Here, in our last class, I tried to tell us the importance of understanding the concept of what? Squares and square roots. So what 2 numbers will you multiply? 2 same numbers will you multiply to get 36? It will be the same thing as box being equal to finding the square root of what? 36, and that is what? 6. Remember, I took us through an exercise where we have to write 1 times 1, 2 times 2. Look at that. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. So that's one of the exercises we took to help us get this, arrive at this answer. Right. So we'll go to D. We go to D now. We go to D. And in question D, we have that box plus box is equal to what? 45 minus box. So how many boxes are we seeing? We're seeing 3 boxes. So that will be box equal to what? 45 divided by 3, and that will be what? 15. Right? So like I said, you've done the assignment. So what we're doing now is a quick work. So all you need to do is to check whether what you have done is what? Correct. And afterwards, we'll pause for questions and comments. Now look at question 3. Find the value of the following if 7 goes into each box. For A, it will be what? 7 plus 7, and that will be equal to what? 14. For B, it will be 18 minus what? 7 plus 7. What is that? 18 minus what? 14, and that will be equal to what? 4. Are we seeing that? So that's for question 3B. Now for question 3C. For C, we have box Said we are putting 7 into the box, so that will be 7 times 7 plus 1. Here, the concept of board mass will apply. And if you watch, there are two operations we are concerned with: the operation multiplication and the operation addition. So we must do multiplication before we do addition. So this will be equal to what? 49 plus 1, and that will be equal to what? 50. Let's look at question D. In question D, we have box. Okay, now we are applying 7, so that will be 7 minus what? 21 divided by what? 3. I hope you know that this is the same thing as what? 21 over 3. I hope 21 over 7, sorry about that. 21 over 7. So what does that give you? This will give me what? 7 minus what? 3, and that will be equal to what? 4. Are we together? That's for question 3. I'll just pause for like a minute or two. Okay, so question 4. Question 4, it said each sentence is true. Find the value of P, Q, R, and S. So A is P equal to 8 plus 3. That will be equal to 11. Right away, you add these two together. For B, this will be what? Q equal to 7 minus 4. Right away, the answer is what? 3. For C, 14 minus R is equal to 8. What will I take away from 14 to get 8? It means R is equal to 14 minus 8. And that is what? 6. Let's look at D. In D, we have 19 equal to S plus 3. What can I add to S to give me, what can I add to 3 rather, to give me 19? It will be S equal to 19 minus 3. To be like taking away 3 from 19, and that will give me what? 16. So that's for question 4. Right, so let's go to question 5. Each sentence is true. Find the value of W, X, Y, and Z. So for A, 5A, for 5A, we have that W is equal to 21 divided by 3. Please note that this is the same thing as 21 over 3. It's a very good observation you need to take note of. Start getting used to it. If I say something over something, it will mean what? The numerator divided by the denominator. Now, all right, question B. 5B, X is equal to 3 times 8. And that will be what? 24. 3 times 8 is what? 24. In question C, we have that 39 is equal to 3, equal to what? Y times 3. What will I multiply 3 by to get 39? It will mean Y will be 39 divided by what? 3, and that will be what? 13. If I multiply 13 by 3, I'll obviously get what? 39. All right, so we continue. Let's look at the next question. Question 5, 5D. In D, we have that 9 is equal to what? Z divided by 8. So what does that give you? It means that Z will be equal to what? I think of a number, I divide that number by 8 and I'm getting 9. That number will be the same thing as multiplying 9 by 8, and that will be what? 72. That will be what? 72. Right, so that's for question 5. We go to question 6 now. Question 6. In question 6, each sentence is true. Find the number that the letter stands for. Find the number that the letter. All right. So let's look at it. Question 6. m plus n is equal to 20. It means that what two numbers will I add together that are same to get 20? It means one of the m must be 20 divided by 2. And that is what? 10. Class. So let's go back to question 6. This is question 6a. Now let's look at 6b. What is 6b saying? In 6b we have that 32 minus n is equal to n. What does this mean? What two numbers that are the same such that when I subtract 1 from this number, I get that same number? It's the same as saying n equal to 32 divided by 2. Are we saying that? So meaning that this will be what? 16. If I remove 16 from 32, I'm going to get what? 16 again. Let's look at this problem of maths now from trying to, me the teacher, trying to reprogram your mind. I'm following an approach. May not be what you were very used to in class, but the objective is that I want you to now begin to think differently. Open your thinking so that, because that's what you need in solving problems. If you're thinking only in one direction, sometimes it doesn't solve problems well for you. You need to be able to look at problems from left, from right, from top, and from bottom. All right, so in C, we have that 64 divided by Q, divided by P is equal to P. I'm thinking of a number such that if I divide that number by, if I say 64 divided by that number, I'm going to get that number back. Obviously, that is telling you about square root. So P will be the square root of 64. And remember the exercise we had before now. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, till you get to 8 times 8. And 8 times 8 will give you what? 64. So that number is 8. And I remember in that class telling you that at your level, you should be able to multiply 1 times 1, know the answers by heart till you get to what? 20 times 20. Must, at your level, you should be able to do that sweatlessly. So that's what the examiner wants you to take note of here. There are certain knowledge he expects you to have. All right, so we go to question 6D, and in D you have Q times Q equal to 1. What two numbers will I multiply so that when I multiply them, I'm going to get 1? Obviously, it is Q equal to the square root of 1. That is it. Two same numbers, multiply them, and you're getting 1. Now take note, only when you multiply 1 times 1 do you get 1. So that's more like a less than a second or two answer for you. And that means that this answer is what? 1. I hope that is clear enough. So we'll go to the next one. Let's get ready. We come to question 7. Now in question 7, we are told to find the value of the following when x is equal to 5. So for A, 5 plus 9 is equal to what? 14. Question B, 9 minus 5 is equal to 4. Question C, 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. I hope you know that this same thing as 5 over 5. Please don't forget this. I'm overemphasizing this one now. 5 divided by 5 means 5 over 5. Numerator over denominator. And that will give you what? 1. That will give you 1. Question D says y times 8. So that will be what? 5 times 8. What is 5 times 8? 5 times 8 is what? 40. 5 times 8 is what? 40. All right. So that's for question 7. Let's look at question 8. In question 8, It says find the value of the following when z is equal to what? When z is equal to 11. So for A it will be what? 11 plus 11. And that will give me 22. For B, it will be 11 minus 11, and that will give me 0. Anytime you subtract two same numbers, the answer will be 0. Let's go to C. In question C, we have 9 plus 11 divided by 11. What is the answer? Now, I am always emphasizing that this is over this. Please take notes. I am doing this purposefully, consciously, because it's a very important knowledge that will help me much later. Right, so that's for question C. Now what about D? All right, so we go to D, and in question D, it will be what? 11 plus 5 times 11. And that will give me 11 plus 66, or plus 55. Sorry about that. And that will be what? 66. Are you seeing that? Okay. I know you have solved this, but I just want to be sure that what you've gotten is right. So let's go to question 9. In question 9, it says a graph book costs what? X naira. So cost of a graph book will be equal to X naira. Fine. We are told that the cost of 5 graph books, so cost of 5 graph books is equal to what? 450 naira. Question 1 says, what is the value of X? If 5 books cost this, it means X will cost what? 450 divided by 5, and that will be what? 90. So the value of X is what? 90. 5 things cost 450. What will be the cost of 1? The cost of 1 is X. So X will be equal to what? 450 divided by 5. Right? That's for question. So that's the first one. Then B. What will be the cost of a graph book and a pen costing what? 60 naira. So cost of graph book plus a pen will be equal to 90 plus what? 60. And that will give you what? 150 naira. Take note of the steps I've taken. Notice that as we're handling this, I'm writing statements. I'm introducing you to something that will be expected of you as we go along in mathematics. We expect you from time to time to make mathematical statements. So this is what is expected of you to do in question 9. Let's go to question 10. In question 10, says a tank contains 6,000 liters of water. So tank contains 6,000 liters. Then after taking 20 buckets of water from the tank, only 5,700 liters remain. So amount or quantity taken from tank will be equal to this amount minus what is remaining. And that will give me what? 300. Now it says if each bucket contains n liters, what is the value of n? So a bucket contains n liters. I am told 20 buckets have been taken. So number of buckets taken, number of buckets taken is what? 20. 20 buckets were taken. So a bucket will contain what? N equal to what? 300 divided by what? 20. And my final answer becomes what? 15. So N is equal to 15 liters. So that's what one bucket will be. One bucket will now be what? 15 liters.